Hi everybody, welcome back to another CYT-Crypto episode. My name is Stephen Aitchison and today we'll be going over what the hell happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I was watching it this morning about 5:30 before I was getting ready, and I kind of seen it shooting up to about 8,800. I thought this is it, this is just going to go kind of up to the $9,000 mark, but then it came straight back down. So we'll be talking about that. Where next for Bitcoin? There's a really brilliant thread on Twitter, by the way, that we'll look at today as well, that could signal where Bitcoin is going to go from here and where the bottom is as well, more importantly where the bottom is. So have we reached the bottom yet? Possibly not. Possibly not. So we'll be talking about that as well. We'll be going over the markets in general as well, but we'll be kind of predominantly looking at kind of Bitcoin price and what's going on there as well. And anything you want to ask away in the comments as well. If you're watching just now, just leave a comment in just to say where you're from in the world. It'd be good to know where you're from as well. And we'll see if we're live or not just now. Make sure everything is okay. 1 wee second. Right, we are live. Excellent. We've got a couple of people in just now, so I'm just going to jump over to the chat area and we'll get started. I've not got the chat area on, so I need to get it popped out. Okay, we have Mike all the way from Saudi Arabia is in the house. Welcome to you, Mike. Good to have you here. Crypto Dread is in the house from Florida. Stephen King is in, Gordy Boy, G-Slick, Mitch Dieter, T-Mac is in the house, Marcus Jafari, Chris Camus is in, Mervyn Skidmore, High Plains Drifter. Mervyn Skidmore is saying 12k weekend. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. John Graham is in the house as well. Okay, we'll go over the markets, see what's happening in the marketplace just now. We have a Bitcoin price of 8,444, aggregated price across all the exchanges down 1.69%. Market cap is at $226 billion. We've got Bitcoin dominance of 66.9%, which is up slightly from where it was yesterday. Who's the winners and losers? We have Duo is up 78% on 1.5 million volume. So that's jumped into number 90 on Coinmarketcap. Matic Network is doing brilliant. It's up 15%. Just now it's still going at the moment. So that's doing well. And that's almost in double-digit greens. But we'll have Bitcoin, Algorand, Swipe, Komodo, Leo, Ravencoin, BitCapital, Vendor, Synthetics, all up as well. We've probably got about 25% in the green and about 75% in the red. Who's the biggest losers? Zilliqa, 17.24%. So that was one of the ones I was in. Zilliqa for my trading. I got back into trading and I was in Zilliqa, but got out actually with a profit in the trading, and I jumped into ERD. And that was a couple of days ago. That's before the Bitcoin price went and jumped up and all the alts came down. But I'm still in ERD, I'm feeling safe with that. Zilliqa, disappointed with that. I thought I would go much higher, to be honest. Zilliqa, but didn't. What price? The Satoshi value 67 Satoshi, so I think I called it at 72 or something. Yeah, it did get up to 76, down to 67. It's not that big, a kind of drop, but the percentage drop looks big, obviously, as well. So I still think Zilliqa for the long term is good. I'm okay with that. Let's go back. We'll look at all the cryptocurrencies listed on CoinMarketCap. We now have 2,964, reaching that magical 3,000 figure. And who's the winners and losers, or who's the biggest gainer? Over 10,000 traded, $10,000 traded. Maximind Coin is up 129%. You kind of looked at that before on 82,000 volume. Spectrum is up 102% on 16,000 volume with a market cap of 59,000, which is ridiculously low, but I don't know about Spectrum. Not looked into it. Might be worth looking into. But the trading volume suggests it might not be, but we could look into it. ERC20 is up 91% on 48,000 volume, 2.8 million market cap. TouchCon is up again, 79% over the last 24 hours. Duo, we've just seen, is up 78% with a market cap of 40 million. So really what we're doing here is looking for hidden gems. Hidden Gems to me is under 5 million market cap or under 10 million, but 10 million is becoming quite normal now. So I'd say under 5 million, even lower than that. Ideally under 3 million, to be honest, but under 5 million certainly. Loons is up 68% on 22,000 volume, not that much. Observer up 53%, 4 million market cap on 168,000 volume as well, so that's quite good volume. Ion is up 50%, under 1 million to 678,000 market cap. So there's a few in there that we could have a look at. There's nothing kind of majorly standing out with the volume, etc. And yeah, there's nothing major standing out there. See if there's anything else. Nah. So there's a lot of good coins on the market just now, but we really have to do our due diligence just now and really do the kind of research. I'm finding I'm having to dig much deeper for the research when I'm doing kind of hidden gems as well. I keep wanting to bring a video out, and then I just I don't get scared to do it. It's like a 10-minute video looking at hidden gems. It's not that I get scared to do it, it's just I want to make sure the research is done right. And that's I've got a video coming out, hopefully, if I've done the research, hopefully over the weekend. But I might not produce it. I might not send it out there. But I'm kind of reluctant to do it. I'll kind of talk about that later on as well. Look at crypto bubbles. What's happening in crypto bubble land? This is over the last 24 hours. We can see it's predominantly red here. It's not good. Matic is obviously kind of standing out there as being high. Bitcoin as well. Aurora, KNC, Algo, SXP as well. But the big ones, Lambda and Zilliqa, down 19%. That's USD. BTC looks a bit better. This is a Satoshi value. Looks a bit better. Not that much difference, to be honest. We'll look at over the last hour. What's happening over the last hour? This is Satoshi value. We're looking predominantly in the green. On Satoshi value, Lambda still going down, Sierra going down, Theta going down as well, Waves going down in Satoshi value. We'll go to the dollar value. Not much change. So roughly about the same. Jump back to the chat, see who else has joined us, if anybody. Nope. Just make sure everyone's okay there. Yeah, we are. Okay, if you're watching just now, just leave a comment just to let me know where you are in the world. Okay, the fear and greed index just now is 39. It was kind of 39, 41 yesterday it was. So we're kind of middle of the road. We're not fearful, we're not kind of being greedy. I would imagine that will change tomorrow. Once we look at the kind of Bitcoin chart as well. So we'll have a wee look at that just now. Bitcoin, still going down further. Strange one this morning. So I was up kind of early this morning, just as usual, up around 5 o'clock, and I seen it jumping all the way up to 8,890. I thought, okay, this is it. This is where we go above 9,000, and then we start to make a move higher. Because I've been saying for a while, if we don't move above the 200 MA on the daily, then we're going to really struggle. So I said, if we move above the 200 MA and we sustain the price, i.e. the 200 MA acts as support instead of resistance, then it's looking good to go above 9,000 and then onwards and upwards from there. But this morning we jumped up to, we'll just see what the highest price was, $8,820. I thought, okay, this is it. This is the start of it. But as soon as that happened, it just came right back down straight away. If we look at the 5-minute chart, look what happened. It jumped all the way up, 8,820, and within 5 minutes, so within 20 minutes, it was all the way down to 8,359. I thought, what the hell is going on there? So, still not above the 200 MA. It's still really struggling. Even if you call it whale manipulation, it doesn't matter what it is, it's still not above the 200 MA. So retail investors like you and I are going to be looking at the 200 MA and seeing that as major resistance there. Normally what happens, if it knocks on the door of the 200 MA, if it knocks on the door several times, it usually breaks through it. It did break through it, but came right back down. So we can see here, on 27th, 28th, 29th, 1st of October, 2nd, 3rd, it's kind of knocked on the door of the 200 MA. Here again, the 9th, the 10th, and now the 11th of October. Usually with that kind of pressure, it usually kind of breaks through it. and sustains a rise above it, but just it's not doing it just now. So I'm leaning toward this going down again towards the kind of 8,000 level, then a 7,600 level, and see what happens from there. I'm going to show you kind of something just now, well, in a couple of minutes, about possibly going back down to 6,300 level, and we'll see why that might be as well. There's a brilliant thread on Twitter just now by Cole Garner. It's a must. I definitely read it. It's a must read. Really kind of lays out some good stuff, in my opinion. But Bitcoin at the moment, can see 8,401. And it's just bouncing all over the place just now. Just look in the hourly chart. 3 red candles. Look at that big red candle there. How much difference? A $463 candle on that red candle there. So we need to wait and see what's going to happen there. The 70 EMA is coming down towards the 50 EMA on the 1 hour chart as well, which is not a good sign as well. On the 4 hour chart, if we look at that, I like to look at the 4 hour, the daily, rather than the smaller ones. If we're trading, look at the 15-minute chart. So on the 4 hour one, we're still crossed over above the 50 EMA. I'm going to ignore this red line just now. That's the 200 EMA. So ignore that on the 4 hour. Just look at that on the daily. For me, it's best to look at on the daily. So we'll see. We've got this big red candle. The size of this candle just now on the 4 hourly is $459. That's a big candle there. So we'll see. We kind of bounced off the 50 EMA there, around about the 8,357 level. So it's 8,327 for the 50 EMA. So it could be that's acting as support. Yeah, but I don't think so. We need to wait and see what Bitcoin decides to do. See if anybody else is in. We've got Mark Innes is in the house, watching from work. Hello from our workmates too. Good to see you. Nice to have you back. Chris Camus is in the house. The Bears won at 6,300. Yes, that's what it looks like. It looks like, and we'll kind of show you why, possibly, they could get down to that level. Crypto Dread, please pray for California. These fires are heading towards neighbourhoods. I didn't check it this morning, what the fires were doing in California. I knew about it kind of over the last couple of days and why the electricity's gone out, etc. But yeah, big kind of sending lots of kind of positive energy to Californians as well. There's millions, loads of people, well, in the millions of people affected with this. Pete Van Den Wright is in the house, and welcome to you. David D, good morning. Just arrived back to UK. Good to have you back in the UK. You've probably got shitty weather when you arrived back compared to where you've been. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's okay in England. I take it in England. Don't know why I presume that. But good to have you back, David. Okay, I want to look at this thread from Cole Garner. If you've not seen this, check it out. It's well worth a read. And it's got a big thread. It's got about 15, 16, 18 parts to it. If you don't use Twitter, you can only have so many characters. It used to be 140, but it's not anymore. It's much longer than that. But you can do kind of a thread and have lots of kind of essentially a big conversation. So what Cole Garner has said is he's talking about this guy Philb, who's on Twitter and who's on kind of TradingView as well. He said he called the BTC's bear market bottom 12 months in advance before the bull market even finished. His words on December the 4th, 2017 says, I would lean towards 3K. His take on what comes next and why is fascinating. So we can go over to TradingView and look on the original chart that was done on December the 4th, 2017. So this is from Philb, or Phil Bitcoin. Just have a look, see if this comes up. And this is talking about the parabolic move. That's slow again, brave. Yep, December the 4th, 2017. And so we'll have to give some credit here to Philb as well. But Cole Garner is the one kind of thread I was looking at. So what he was saying is basically It's saying there's several periods of consolidation of bases which are established with increasing range of each moves. The final phase is usually the most violent in its upside before a strong correction which breaks several of the previous levels of support. So he was talking about going up to 20,000, and he was saying in the kind of thread before it even got anywhere near that, he was saying, okay, I think this is the top, around about the 20s. He said, I'm calling top at a max out of this move being 20k, but could end sooner. A collapse could see Bitcoin return to somewhere between 2 and 3k. I would lean towards 3k. This is on December the 4th, before anybody was talking about it, and nobody was talking about it kind of going down to $3,000, but this guy did, and Cole Garner has given him some credit here. So he's saying first, Phil Philp was on point. He focused on one metric, and the metric that he focused on is the estimated cost of mining production. This is a key point in this as well, which is Cole Garner's talking about and Phil Philp is talking about as well, the estimated cost of mining production. So he said he laid it all out in March 2018, and the estimated cost of production price range bottoms out at 3,170. 9 months later, BTC bottomed out at 3,148. Bang on point within a few dollars. So Cole is asking, why is production so relevant? And this to me is what makes it such a good trade, because it's a reasoned argument here. And he says miners are natural sellers that drive supply more than anyone else, but their incentive to sell vanishes below the cost of production. So institutions and smart money knew it and were ready. Retail was mostly unaware. So what they were saying is this parabolic move was going up to $20,000. All the retail investors were getting in and they're FOMOing in and saying this is going to be brilliant. It's going to go up to 40,000. It's going to go up to 100,000. A lot of people were talking about that back in the day as well, back in 2017, and people were jumping in like crazy. But what he was saying, the institutions and the smart money knew that the cost of production was 3,170, and they knew it was going to probably fall to that price at some point. So they got out near the top and leaving the kind of retail investors to still FOMO in because they didn't have this information. So don't take it from me, says Phil Philp, take it from Satoshi in 2010. Satoshi Nakamoto says the price of any commodity tends to gravitate towards the product cost. That was back in 2010. Towards the production cost. If the price is below cost, then production slows down. If the price is above cost, profit can be made by generating and selling more. Satoshi Nakamoto, that was back in 2010. So BT's bottom doesn't have to track mining's production cost flow, but it did, just like it did in 2015, the last time BTC hit bottom. And he's saying he had a hard time finding historic production cost data as well. So the cost of production just now is 3,140. It's not really changed since 2016, since the Bitcoin halving. But the Bitcoin halving is going to happen in May 2020. And he's saying, Cole Garner's saying, we'll kind of look at this a wee second later on, what he says later on. He's saying that the cost of production is going to be around about 6,300. And that's already factored in to today's price. And he thinks it's going to fall to around about the 6,300 level, or around about those levels, saying that's a good time to buy in. So Cole Garner's saying, here's my suspicion. BTC's logarithmic channel bottom is a rolling average of mining's production cost flow. He says, I can't prove this, but sample size is too small, but I'm wide open to being proven wrong. But the data we have tells a very specific story. So if you look at this chart as well, this is the logarithmic data of Bitcoin, and he's saying it kind of matches the production cost of what it does and what it takes to produce a Bitcoin. And this is the BT mining production cost. So estimated cost of mining production matched BTC's log channel bottom in 2015 and 2018, and he's asking, is that a coincidence? He thinks not. So he said it's been 9 months since we bottom, and miners' nominal production cost hasn't changed much, as we said. But Bitmain and friends aren't fools. They know the block reward will have in May. That's priced into the bottom line by now. So what he's saying is Bitmain and kind of the other big players out there as well know that the production cost is going to be already factored into the price, and that price is 6,300, and it could fall below to that price as well. So production cost doubles when the block reward halves. That makes 6,340 the new floor. Smart money knows it. Again, retail has no clue. Again, Lots of longs in the right place, but for the wrong reasons, he's saying. So he's saying that doesn't mean price will reach 6,400 region, but Phil makes a case for it. Big miners have incentive to drive Bitcoin price back to its production costs. They'd love to dish out maximum pain one more time before the bull market steamrolls forward out of control. So these are the kind of production costs here. And these are the lines. This is the 6,400 line right here, the arrow here. And he's saying it could fall to below that. He says not necessarily, but Phil makes a case for this as well. He also talks about terminal shakeout before the last bull market. So this could be another terminal shakeout going down to 6,400. Last cycle, the terminal shakeout preceded BTC's accumulation range breakout. We never got one this time. I think we're in the process of getting it just now. I think it's healthy for the bull long term. So overall, what they're saying here, and this is it's just such a brilliant thread. I'm going to post it in the comments just now, so you'll be able to see it just now as well. You should be able to get this, so you can have a look yourself. So it kind of goes on to say institutional hedge funds and state actors would love to reaccumulate those levels. Their incentives align with big mining for now. In my opinion, it would be a nice opportunity to hedge short or sell spot and rebuy lower and say don't go all in or don't go all out. If you've been waiting patiently to buy Bitcoin for 6,400 to 7,500 is a great buy zone. If we get there, the drop could happen fast. Doubt might creep in. This happens by design. Scarce asset ownership is a zero-sum game. You might not get a second chance at sub 7k prices. So he's kind of saying it could fall to that price, but he's saying be careful because that could be the last time you ever see that price again. Bitcoin just now, $8,411. So I do think this kind of ties in what we were saying yesterday as well, and looking at the daily chart and looking at the MA. The 200 MA line, and we can change that colour there. Style I like it just to kind of shine brightly. So the yellow line is a 200 MA. So this is really, really critical. It's we've been saying it for the last couple of days, how critical this line is, the 200 MA, especially on the daily. If we're looking at that, it's just not managing to get over that. So a fall back could be on the cards. We're also looking at, if we get rid of the EMAs, which I use, we'll look at the MAs, the simple moving averages, and that's not right. I think I've got that set at 21. Yeah, should be 50. So we've got the death cross at 21, the 21 MA going over the 200 MA, but this is a 50. So it looks as if we're still going down towards this death cross. If that happens, a lot of traders know about the death cross. We know what happens kind of with the death cross. The last time it happened was back in 29th of March 2018, and we went from 9,400 all the way down to 3,134. So I've seen this before, looked at this before and said it's a 66% drop. And the last time another death cross happened, or a major death cross happened, was back in 2014, and it fell 72%. And we had a death cross here, very, very slight, a brief one, a brief death cross. And it's not to say we're not going to get a brief one now, and it's not to say we are going to get one, it's just looking like that just now for Bitcoin. So I'm not trying to kind of put a damper on things, because I believe in Bitcoin long term. You know what I think about Bitcoin long term. I think it's going to go up to 50,000, 100,000 in years' time as well. But I think with everything that's going on just now, I think this aligns kind of with what's going on in the world just now. There's the world politically, financially, the world is in a bit of turmoil just now. I'm not just talking about USA, UK, Europe, etc. I'm just talking all over the world just now. Apart from the Asian countries, I don't think they are they're kind of in a state just now. But the Fed's kind of issuing more money, they're kind of printing more money out of thin air. What's going on with that? We know there's billions of dollars being printed just now by the Feds. Jerome Powell as well, he's coming out and saying they're going to start, he didn't actually say quantitative easing, but they're going to start that by buying bonds. back as well, but essentially it is quantitative easing. So it's to stimulate the economy again, to put more money into the economy. But essentially that's what they're doing. Same with Britain. Britain are coming out of Europe just now. What's going to happen there? Are they going to go down the tubes? We're one of the largest kind of financial countries in the world. Just now, what's going to happen there? I don't think there's going to be as big a difference as people think. But we'll need to wait and see what happens there as well. There's just uncertainty all over the world. That's got to have a knock-on effect on the crypto markets as well. So I think 2020 is not going to be a brilliant year as well. 2021, we're going to start to see some big differences, some major differences in the kind of financial markets. 2022 as well. I'm just looking long term here. I think that's where we're going to have a big, huge turnaround. 2022 up past that, towards that as well. So 6,400, I think if that's the bottom, then that's cool. If that's going to be the all-time, or not the all-time bottom, but the bottom, the last kind of bottom that we see at that price, then that's not necessarily a bad thing. So let me know your thoughts on that. We can see just now Bitcoin is at 8,398. It's just to highlight the importance of what's going on just now in the kind of grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of things, what's happening kind of politically, financially around the world just now as well. I just feel that we're going to go down with the Bitcoin's going to go down as well. Bitcoin price is going to go down, but it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I think it'll come back up again, and it will be the dominant currency in the world it's going to start within 2 to 3 years. It's going to start the switch, the crossover. I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to be backed. It's going to be a hedge. People are going to be using it as hedge. Hedges like they do with gold. What's happening with gold just now? And we'll just have a quick look at the world stock markets and gold as well. What's happening with gold? It's not really changed much actually. Still $1,500 at the moment for gold. What's happening in the markets? DFX market. We've seen that it's 106 just now. It's worth looking into that as well once it does come out fully. We've got the FTSE 100, death cross actually, 50 over the 200 on the daily. We've got death cross, so that's it doesn't look like a good sign. It could be a good time to short the FTSE 100. When did that happen before? It happened at 7,500 and went all the way down to 6,500. So it could be a good time to short that. Dow Jones coming up for the death cross as well. Soon, I would imagine, but not faring quite as badly. 26,948. Nifty 50 death crossed already on the 50 and the 200. So Nikkei 250, 225. It's kind of skirting, it's dancing with the 200 MA, but that's going up. And looks as if it's going to cross back up over. Last time it crossed up over, kind of reached 50% higher. The Hang Seng is down, death cross on the Hang Seng index. That's just what's happening around the world. And I think we have to look at the bigger picture as well. And I've been doing that more and more with regards to kind of looking at the Bitcoin price as well. Let's go back to Binance. So I would not be, if you see this kind of dropping kind of hard, I genuinely wouldn't be worried about it. I just see it as another kind of last chance to get in at fairly good prices. So it'd be good to know your kind of opinions on that as well. Gary Parmenter, pulling the BTC train back does open up some great entry points. It does. David D, yes, bad weather leave to Greece later today, better weather. Yes, excellent. I hope you have a good trip to Greece as well. Andreas is in the house, welcome to you. King 1969, hi everybody, how's it going? Good to see you here. Ethereum Classic may be the one to watch. The price is right and the correlation with Ethereum is still strong. It is indeed. Cool, Garner, I've listed that for you. Chris Camus, Steve, another thing is we have never had an all-time high before a halving. Could happen since it's crypto, but for now never has. Yes, so actually before the halving, 2016 we didn't have the all-time high, 2012, and we didn't have it before the halving as well. It usually happens about a year after, the halving. After the halving, will it not increase miners' expenses, and maybe some will stop mining BTC if the price is too low? So that's what they're saying. The bottom price for mining production is around about 6,300. They're saying that's already factored into the price at the moment. So if it goes below that price, that's when people step in and start to buy Bitcoin as well. But what they're saying is the mining community, what they tend to want to do is to get rid of the kind of competition, really. So they'll have more of it as well. They'll get more blocks on the blockchain as well and get more money or more Bitcoin that way as well. So they don't see it as necessarily a bad thing that the Bitcoin price goes so low. So what could happen with the Bitcoin price? Yeah, it's happening just now. I'll just go to auto. So what could happen is we fall, not quickly, we'll fall to these prices and just kind of trickle on up. I'm not saying it's going to happen in a day, but we could go down to that 6,400 level again, or in that kind of level. I think uncertainty is probably going to arise round about more towards the end of the month, this month, because of Brexit. Obviously, Brexit is going to have a huge impact on kind of Britain, obviously on Europe as well, because I would imagine when Britain leaves and we see what kind of deal we get, if we get a deal from Brexit. I don't know if we're going to get a deal or not, but Boris is saying he's determined to leave. I don't know how it can happen, but he's saying he's determined to leave. If that happens, other European countries are going to be looking at this and saying, okay, is it time for us to leave the European Union as well? And what's going to happen with that? There's going to be even more uncertainty within Europe as well. So the end of the month is going to be a big kind of play here, and I think it is going to affect. Is it going to affect the Bitcoin price? I think it's going to affect the kind of energy in general, which will affect the Bitcoin price. So that uncertainty could see us falling towards this level towards the end of the month. That's what I kind of think is going to happen, and it might just be a kind of long, kind of sideways movement from there before it decides what to do. And we could go down lower than 6,000 and come and bounce kind of right back up. But anyway, we see what happens. I'm usually very positive about the Bitcoin price, but I have to look at it and say, okay, this could happen as well. I have to look at the other side as well. And usually I'm a permanent kind of bull. But on this occasion, I have to look at the evidence in front of us and what's happening around the world as well. So what would kind of be the best thing to do here? So if you've got money on the side just now, you might be in USDT just now, or you might have kind of cash in your bank just now. Best thing to do probably be to wait. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin, best thing to do is probably be to wait to see what happens with this. If it gets down towards this kind of 7,000 level and below, that's the time to start thinking about buying again. But then again, you would look at the charts and just say, okay, what's going to happen here? The best chart to probably look at, maybe the 4-hourly chart. And just go to auto here, get rid of this. So on the 4-hourly chart, we just go to the EMA and we'll get rid of the MAs. 4-hourly, I suspect this is going to fall down probably over the weekend. And the 4-hourly is the 70 EMA is going to cross down over the 50 EMA. And then when it goes back up again, when the 70 EMA crosses back up over the 50 EMA, that's the time to possibly look at buying. But just now I just see this candle that pushed the 70 EMA above the 50 EMA or 50 EMA is not an anomaly, but is something that we should not discard, but just not kind of pay attention to, or pay too much attention to just now, because we think this is going to fall. But it might not fall. You know what Bitcoin's like, the price of Bitcoin. We've seen it jumping up to 8,800 this morning. So you just never know, but it looks likely that that's going to happen, particularly because it cannot cross this line here on the daily. It just has not been able to get above that or sustained rise above that. So we're talking about a closing price. We're not talking about the breakthrough price. It's broken through a couple of times. And we're not talking about the breakthrough price. We're talking about a closing price on the daily. But you never know. It could totally surprise us and just kind of reverse and shoot back up to the 9,000 region. But I think with everything that's going on in the world, I just don't see it happening. The energy that's kind of going on just now is not good from a financial point of view. Okay, I think, yeah, we're going down quickly now. I just see that kind of dropping. Yeah, dropping quite quickly now. Right, so how's that going to affect the alts? It's dropping, it is dropping as we speak. One sec. 8,340, yeah. So it's doing what we kind of said it was going to do. It's probably going to drop quick. So how's that affecting the alts? We'll go to the kind of Binance markets just now. So it's not that bad actually. There's a couple of pages. I think if we drop big time, always when we drop big time, and we're talking like $300-400, then that does affect the alts. Matic is doing well on Binance. That's up to 189 Satoshi just now. Looks as if it's going to cross over to 190, 191. So the IEOs are doing well. So that's Matic, One, Fetch AI is coming back up as well. Seller as well, which we've seen. So One is doing well. I think I've called that. Can't remember what price I called that at. Yeah, so One is doing well as well. Komodo is doing well. It's up 11%. Like Komodo for the long term. Algorand as well is up 10%. Fetch AI is up to 515. That was called as well. I think it got up to 605. I called it. It did, yeah, 605. QLC going up. Sailor, as we said. How's ERD doing? And this is the one that I'm in just now. So got out of Zilliqa in profit actually. And got into ERD at 21. So I'm down on that just now. That's the trading, the 3 to 6 millionaire strategy kind of trading that I'm doing. So I've got back to trading after a few months hiatus out of it. So it's doing okay there just now. KuCoin, how is KuCoin doing just now? We've got the main market looks kind of healthy. And this is KuCoin Plus. Algorand, obviously, MTV, not that much, so there's not that much going on there. And KuCoin Plus. Spend, we've looked at that a couple of times. Spend coin. I said to do your own research on this because I did initially think this was a really good project to get into. But I need to dig deeper because I was looking at social media and it wasn't good what they were saying on social media, but I don't know if there's a few bad actors in there. Or just kind of people spreading FUD. But it looked good and I likened it to MCO. So I need to do a much deeper dive on SpendCoin before I would recommend it. So I didn't recommend it, I just said I was looking into it. Electrify Asia, this is the one I really liked kind of last year. I really liked that, but lost a lot of money on that as well. A lot of money. What's the volume like? 0.09, so that's not good. This is the thing with KuCoin. I love KuCoin, love trading on it, but you have to be really careful what you're doing with KuCoin when you're trying to accumulate. You can see 0.18. What was Spend? I think that was higher, 24 Bitcoin worth, which is about $200,000. CBC, that was high yesterday, still going up, 0.1 of a Bitcoin. So KuCoin will come up, but this is where you find some amazing hidden gems as well. There's some brilliant ones on here. NOIA could be a kind of a cracking one as well, a hidden gem. Sol we've kind of looked at as well. How's that doing? So 705, so that's gone up again, which is really good. I think we recommended that as 670 and it went up to 894 before coming back down, so that would have been a good time to get back in. So Sol's doing well. That's 712 Satoshi. DAG, kind of looked at before as well. That's Constellation. I think that's a big one for the future. 117 Satoshi just now, 118. So again, that's going back up as well. It's looking good. I can't remember the other ones we've kind of looked at. Looked at loads of them. So some brilliant projects on KuCoin, and then now would be the time to accumulate them. And some good trading as well if you've got the liquidity there. So if you're trading under, I don't know, $1,500, it's good for trading as well, or it can be good. But Bolt is another good one as well. How's that doing? Yeah, that's still going up. So it was at 47 Satoshi, it did get all the way to 247. So another 500% rise. Axpire as well is one I've got as well, which looks good, or could be good. UTK, how's that doing? 250, so that's up as well. Yeah, so there's some brilliant projects, so definitely have a look on KuCoin. Don't dismiss it just because of the liquidity, that will come, but think about the projects in the future that could really come up, and even putting $100 into it, $200 could be really good. Right, I'm just making sure. One sec. Yep. Still live just now. Somebody leave a comment just now. I don't know if the comments, if something's happened with the comments. So if anybody, just leave a comment at the moment. People in, there's 26 people in, so I would imagine. I don't know if something wrong with, if there's anything wrong with the comments here. It seems to have stopped. Oh no. So I thought there was something wrong there. So obviously you're just kind of enthralled in what I'm saying. Thoughts on Link? I really like Link for the long term. I think it's due a correction. To be honest, oh, geez, 8341. I think Link is due a correction. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. So Link, we'll look at, is 31,265 Satoshi, still going up. It did come back down yesterday under 30,000. That might have been a good time to get in, but I still think it could come down. We'll get rid of the MAs and we'll look at the EMAs. So we're talking about, with Link, we're talking about a market cap of nearly $1 billion now. That's not necessarily something, a kind of parameter to look at, but we kind of have to look at it. So 920 million market cap, but still bigger things to come for Link, without a doubt. And we see what it takes to break into the top 10. So 1.2 billion. So it's nearly there. It's going to jump into the top 10. Bitcoin SV shouldn't be there. Bitcoin Cash won't be there. So it's going to jump into the top 10, possibly the top 5 very soon, I would imagine. Yeah. Top 10 very soon for Chainlink. Restless Native is in the house. Marcus Jafari, XRP. We'll have a look at XRP. You know I love XRP. XRP, BTC. See what's happening with that. Let's come back down again. 3,182. It was at 3,485. As I said, you know what I kind of think about XRP and why I think it's just on a slow explosion just now. But still doing well. It's crossed over on the daily. It crossed over back on the 19th of September. That would have been a good time to buy around about the 2,700 level. And I've sold this, unfortunately, at 2,900 because stupidity. I was kind of looking to get more XRP and hodl it for the longer term. And I thought, okay, I'll trade just now. And I went into Wink. Wink subsequently went down about 75%. Fantastic. But I still think Wink is going to come back up. Ever the optimist. But I sold it 2,900, and as long as it stayed below that price, I thought I'm still okay. But Wink dropped 75% and kind of XRP went up. That was my stupidity. It was a big risk to take, and I knew that at the time, and it just didn't come off this time. Taken risks in the past and it has played out, but it didn't come off this time. So I'm still hopeful for Wink actually, believe it or not. Like the crypto market, indeed. What are your thoughts about XRP? Still love XRP, love what they're doing. They're building the infrastructure, they're building a kind of base for everything they need to go parabolic very soon. So I think they'll 4x, 5x very, very quickly, and then it'll be a case of leveling up from there onwards. When Moon? Today. Steve, do you use Heikinashi as well? I do use the Heikinashi. I like the Heikinashi. I'll look at the Heikinashi. So this cuts out a lot of the crap. It doesn't cut a lot of the crap, but it cuts out the kind of noise, a lot of the noise in the place, and you just kind of see where, where the direction is. For XRP, we can see the direction is kind of predominantly up. We can see 2 red candles there is coming down. But yeah, I like the Heikinashi as well. What's it like for the BTC price? You can see there 4 green candles there on the daily. So it gives you a kind of, not a better perspective, but it gives you some more kind of perspective on the charts. I'm looking at 1 hourly, changes completely. For the last 4 1 hourly candles, totally in the red. Next week, 4 candles, 4 candles. Still love that sketch. I think that's it. We were looking at news. Yeah, I was looking at some kind of news. Yeah, I was kind of looking at what George Rager was saying as well. BTC crypto community is in disbelief right now, and that was kind of talking about the rise to 8,823, and that was there talking about that. So saying this big candle here, the big green candle, then all the way back down to 8,391, where it is kind of sitting just now. So a lot of people on Twitter talking about this. That's something else I was kind of looking at. Bitcoin crypto adoption will emerge from global economic collapse. Kim.com, seeing an interview with Kim.com yesterday with Ivan on Tech the other day. Really good. So that was Kim.com as well. Check out Kim.com, it's worth kind of paying attention to. And this is from Crypto Briefing. Yeah, this is big news for me as well. CFT declares Ethereum's Ether is a commodity. So the new chair of the CFTC, Commodity Futures Trading Commission, has declared today that Ether is a commodity, leaving the door open to a plethora of newly regulated derivatives or derivative products on platforms like the CBOE. So what is that? So it means you can have an ETN, an ETF or whatever, because it's classed as a commodity. So he's saying, it is my view as chairman of the CFTC that Ether is a commodity, said CFTC chairman Heath Tarbert at Yahoo Finance's All Markets Summit today in New York. So previously declared that Bitcoin and other virtual currencies should be treated as commodities in 2015, Tarbert's remarks today are the first time a CFT official has ever publicly commented on Ether. So some have criticised US regulators for trying to fit cryptocurrencies into existing legal categories. Professor Emilios has said, who is loosely affiliated with IOHK, the lead developer for the Cardano project, told Crypto Briefing last year that it was a fundamental misunderstanding to treat cryptocurrencies as commodities because it does not have a tangible entity. So lots of mixed opinions on that, but somebody from the CFTC has come out and actually said in public that Ethereum is a commodity. So I actually thought that was quite good for Ethereum. And what else was I going to kind of talk about? I think that was it. Yeah, that was Cesar, the exorcism of Emily Rose, talking about that rise to 8,823 before the subsequent drop after that. B is in house. Good morning to you. Be free, backed, failed maybe. I don't think backed has failed. I think not a lot of people are talking about backed just now, but if we look at backed, if we go to backed bot, this is on Twitter as well, backed volume bot. Look at this. Not a lot of people are reporting on this. So we go up to the 10th, which was yesterday, was the highest volume in backed yet since it kind of came out. And it was $1.92 million. So if you remember when it first came out, I think there was only 70 Bitcoin traded at 1.19 million. That was the first time it came out, 24th of September. But now it's had the highest day yesterday. And I think, is this meant to be the 11th? Oh, sorry, that was the 9th. That was 2 days ago. Yesterday was just under 1 million. So I think backed is actually doing okay. It's slowly coming up. So I think that might help Bitcoin as well. Because obviously it's physically backed. That's what it's called, backed, but it is physically backed. It means I have to buy Bitcoin price or sell Bitcoin price as well, or sell Bitcoin. So yeah, the price, the backed volume is actually coming up. So what they said so far, 2 hours ago, contracts traded so far, 27 Bitcoin. Last traded price was 8,487. Traded contract, this was 1 hour ago, sorry. Traded contracts 109. The day before it was 224. All-time high was 224. That was on the 9th. Follow back bot. So this is real-time updates. So there should be an update due soon as well for that. Yeah, that's 18 hours ago. So backed is not doing as badly as everybody. It's just everybody looked at the first couple of days and thought, that's it, backed is finished. But it's not. It's just slowly rising and it's just keeping doing its thing in the background. So it's not that bad. We need clarity on what XRP is. Hope it comes soon. King 1969. I know. They're in this kind of battle just now to classify what XRP is. Once that comes, I think that could be a catalyst as well for the XRP price rising big time. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, so I'm just going to go to lists and we'll have a quick look at Twitter. We don't usually get the chance to do this, but this is my Twitter list. So I've got a list of 308 people on the crypto list on Twitter, and this is just kind of go into this daily and just look for kind of new information. There's McAfee saying, McAfee Dex launches bug bounty in a day with John McAfee. Imagine spending a day with John McAfee. Wow. That would be interesting to say the least. Anyone buying this BTC dump? That's Slim Trader. Quite like Slim Trader as well. I'll just see what the kind of replies on that. Laughing. Why should I buy? Order set at 8,150. Waiting for 7,900. This is going to go much lower. A lot of people are kind of saying that on Twitter as well, that it's going to go lower. This is Mimblewimble. Box mining, I don't know if you've heard of him, really good YouTuber as well. Andreas Antonopoulos isn't worried about Google's quantum computing. Now, I don't know what the hoo-ha was about the quantum computing because it's not going to be ready for years to come. John McAfee, a good article on how to use my new DEX. John McAfee, whale calls. What the whale calls saying 17 minutes ago. OK coin, BTC USD. A quarter futures liquidated a long position of 509 contracts at 8,333. So it liquidated a position. Like at 924 contracts, 8298. So I would imagine a lot of people will be getting liquidated or stopped out at these prices for Bitcoin. 8,358. It's not looking brilliant for Bitcoin just now. So it did reach 8,299 as we've been on air. Was it on here? Yeah. So the low 8,294 as we've been on live. It bounced back up, but it signifies it could get to that price again. But as I said, ever the optimist, you never know, it could bounce right back up again. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it there for this Friday. Just see who's in. Still got people watching. Thank you very much for watching. I know you could be doing other things on a Friday as well, but think of the kind of Bitcoin price. If you're looking at the Bitcoin price and watching it going down, it's not a bad thing. We kind of need this as well for lots of different reasons, to be honest, but it will come back up strong. It definitely will come back up strong, and it'll be a good time to accumulate once the prices do go low. Dollar cost averaging in, it could be a really good strategy for you as well. So it's just my advice. Do your own research, obviously, and kind of watch what you're doing. Just be careful. Watch with the alts as well. Usually when Bitcoin goes down slowly, they also come up, but it could be that Bitcoin drops kind of fast and hard, which means the altcoins will come down as well. So be careful when you're trading as well. Best thing to do is sit on your hands just now, I would say. Over the week, there's still going to be brilliant opportunities out there. There's always opportunities out there, especially if you're kind of shorting. A good time to maybe short Bitcoin, maybe short the other altcoins as well. But if most people don't do shorting. If you're not and you're trading, just sit on your hands just now. That would be my advice. But have a brilliant weekend, whatever you're doing. Be careful out there, and I'll see you next time. And until then, namaste. Take care. Bye now.
Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.